Stefan Hoffman. I am the International Regional Manager for the Subcontinent for Education Centre of Australia. So what we'll be talking So we're just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So the session is being recorded. I have muted your background noise just to avoid a bit of distraction. You would have access to the Q&A function. So if you've got any questions as we go along, please hit me up with a question within that Q&A function. If you're having any audio visual difficulties, please let me know through the general comments, and there will be an email which you receive probably tomorrow in relation to any feedback or additional questions. So just going through the ECA business structure, and we're specifically talking about the Higher Education Leadership Institute on the third row there today, but it is the latest acquisition within the ECA group. Just also introducing APIC, Victoria University, Swinburne University, both in Sydney, ELSIS, ECA College, ACCLM up in Brisbane, ECA Graduate Institute, Professional Year Plus internships, and another acquisition down there in the bottom right-hand corner, IT Masters, in conjunction with Charles Sturt University. So, Higher Education Leadership Institute. It's basically in Melbourne. So this is a very, very new product for us. Its first intake will be in July. But what is it? I've been talking to a few people behind the scenes in relation to what this program actually is, and it's one of those, how can I say, emerging products out of the coronavirus. E-learning. E-learning, very exciting times, blended learning. A lot of our students, both onshore and offshore, are currently going through the online guided learning process. So what is e-learning? It's basically how to create engaging educational products for students in a variety of different backgrounds. We've got the examples here within the higher education space, but other examples are MOOCs, those short courses that seem to be appearing kind of everywhere across the internet at the moment. So I'm just going to do a bit of an intro video.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Ryan, the founder and CEO of Heli, and I would like to share with you some information about our new course. At a time when e-learning is becoming a critical part of education and professional practice, Heli is proud to offer its recently accredited Master of E-Learning. Whether you work in an educational institution or a professional or corporate setting, this is the course for you to improve your skills to develop and enhance e-learning platforms. You can study this course 100% online or take selected units face-to-face at our Melbourne campus. As a graduate of this course, you'll be recognised as a highly skilled e-learning practitioner who can develop innovative e-learning solutions. We have 4 convenient start dates that you can commence your course every year in late January, mid-April, mid-July, and early October. And fee help assistance is available for eligible students. So why delay? Enrol today. Lodge an expression of interest via our website, and we will get back to you to answer any questions you may have about the course. Alternatively, if you aren't ready to enrol now, then just complete the application for admission form, also available on our website. For more information, you can always contact us by phone or email, and you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I look forward to welcoming you as a student of Helen.
Thank you, Dr. Ryan. So very exciting there. As Dr. Ryan mentioned, we have got 4 intakes per year, and they are very convenient. So what type of subjects are going to be taught here? So the first 4 subjects, introductory, these can also be done as a graduate certificate, which is also available both for onshore and offshore students. Then it goes on to reflective learning, e-learning resources, e-learning futures. So a lot has changed. I think a big thing that has actually happened over the last 12 weeks during Corona is there's been a lot of adjustment in terms of the way in which learning actually happens and expectations of students within there. Collaboration and networking, implementing learning initiatives and engaged research project. So they're all up. There are 11 different subjects over a 2-year period. The 11th subject is actually a double subject as well, a research project. So basically the way that it works is we've got the student would be doing 6 subjects in that first year, followed by 5 in the second, with a very, very conveniently located gap, I guess, in the study. The red highlights, and because it is an e-learning program, obviously students would need to be exposed to the e-learning. This is available for international students as well, that the subjects in red are actually taught exclusively online. And it does, this particular subject load does meet the requirements of that full-time study load as well. So course learning outcomes, so it's all about integrating the learning and teaching theory into e-learning environments. What is going on? So similar to what I'm doing here, I've got a bit of video, I've got the slides of what other techniques. You should be able to see my picture somewhere on the screen. Develop innovative e-learning solutions. I think, like I was mentioning before, there's a lot of change that's happening in this space at the moment. Over the last 3 months during the lockdown, things have evolved rather quickly, and it is very much an emerging space. Direct learning in e-learning environments. So basically with that one, what we're talking about is how people learn within this e-learning space. Obviously, there still are traditional learners that like the on-campus lectures and things like that, but the emergence of the emergence of e-learning in other countries as well will actually increase significantly in the future. If there's one thing that has come out of this coronavirus situation, the pandemic, it's highlighted that particular countries have done very well with e-learning, and then other countries have got major room for improvement. Reflect on personal and practitioner performance. We all know about this one. I guess from personal experience, it becomes very, very obvious when a good presentation has taken place and when you haven't, and what things you can do to improve. For me, this is one of the first heli presentations that I have given. So this will be, I'll reflect on what has worked and what hasn't. Down the track, to make sure that these presentations continuously improve. Critically reviewed learning and teaching theory and practice. So basically what lecturers do at the end of every lecture. Admissions requirements. So there are a couple of different streams here, but for international students in particular, where it's really exciting. So students with a bachelor degree from any background are able to apply for this particular program. Why is that? Because e-learning can happen within any given subject area. Any given subject area. So you've got accounting lecturers or accounting lecturers who are accounting specialists, or on the other hand, you might have science qualified people who are looking to get into this e-learning space as well. Having said that, I'm not saying it's exclusively for students who are looking at lecturing in universities. There's also back of house roles which can be integrated into e-learning. So for example, the video that I presented earlier, that was a part of e-learning, but the animations and making sure that the voiceovers and those kind of things were very conducive to the learning space as well. And it's also looking at emerging technologies as well within this education space. In relation to IELTS, we've got IELTS 6.5, no band lower than 6. Typically within the education field, you're looking at 7.5, those kind of areas in terms of the English proficiency. Commencement dates that were mentioned before in the video, from memory, April, July, and October come to mind, but I've missed the fourth one. So there's a couple of different streams here, which is quite exciting for our agents. So we have got the regular full-time international student stream. They must complete 6 subjects per year, basically 3 during that semester study period over the generally the 6-month period. In addition to that, we do have onshore international students. So obviously they've got the full-time requirement there as well. We are also opening this up to domestic full-time students who may have the option of fee helper, as was mentioned in the video. Another exciting channel as well is for offshore delivery. So at the moment, Heli was delivering and still is delivering the graduate certificate, which I'll come to in a second, delivering that one offshore. And look, we try and make the course as, I guess, time zone friendly as possible for our students. And we've got a Q&A that's actually okay. So PowerPoint is blurred. Please check. Thank you for the feedback, Anonymous. That is some feedback which I can't necessarily change at this particular time, but I will certainly get that fixed for round 2 of this presentation. So, graduate certificate. I'll just pop on the video for this one.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Ryan, the founder and CEO of Heli, and I would like to share with you some information about our course. Heli's Graduate Certificate in Higher Education Academic Practice comprises 4 subjects delivered online and is specifically designed to improve your skills as a higher education educator. Our graduate certificate has 4 key components. Firstly, you will gain skills in higher education, learning and teaching through exploring specific approaches to teaching practice. Next, you will learn how to design effective higher education courses, subjects, and assessment activities. You will also gain an understanding of the role and range of scholarly activity in higher education and learn how to develop a culture of scholarship within an independent higher education provider. Finally, you will learn about the advantages and challenges of teaching online and develop skills to build your own online delivery model. As a graduate of our course, you will be well placed to teach in a higher education setting and become an effective higher education academic practitioner. Furthermore, it will help you meet the standards for higher education teachers by addressing 3 essential criteria: that you have a qualification at least 1 level higher than you are teaching, that you engage in continuing scholarship to keep abreast of contemporary developments in your field, and that you have skills in contemporary learning, teaching and assessment principles. We have 4 convenient dates you can commence your course every year in late January, mid-April, mid-July and early October. So why delay? Enroll today. Lodge an expression of interest via our website and we will get back to you to answer any questions you may have about the course. Alternatively, if you are ready to enrol now, then just complete the application for admission form, also available on our website. For more information, you can always contact us by phone or email, and you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I look forward to welcoming you as a student of HELI.
Okay, so as Dr. Ryan was just saying there, we do the graduate certificate. Also has the four subjects, and it is actually the first 4 subjects of the master's program as well. It's available for domestic students on the Melbourne campus or online. It's also available for onshore international students and offshore international students as well. Next intake. Next intake is on July 20. Location is in Melbourne. And to get started, we do have a startup scholarship of 25%. So instead of being $36,000 for the entire duration, it is $27,000 over the 2-year program, or $4,500 per term. And this is available to all onshore and offshore students who meet the program's entry requirements. Also, for our offshore students, we do have the option of having an English pathway, 100% scholarship from our English for Academic Purpose program. If your student is actually applying for HELI, they can apply for the EAP program if they're intending on waiting for the borders to open. Okay, for the EAP program, there is on your Education Centre apply.eca.edu.au, there is an offshore campus for ELSIS, and the next intake shall be next month because the 22nd of June has actually passed. So what else is there? In order to apply, there is a manual application form now for HELI. However, your portal will still work through your existing username and password, which you would have received. Over the coming weeks, my colleague Alina will be sending out a separate agency agreement for your organization in order to be able to officially recruit for Heli. So any questions? So I'll just pause here for a second.